Alright, so I just finished prepping my remote start. I got a 2016 Toyota Sienna that I'm doing. I'm doing a standalone remote start using just the 4N Evo or standalone remote start. I got all my wiring done here. Everything's routed out. And yeah, I'm gonna take this to the car right now and I'm gonna finish it off. Alright, so I got my phone set up here. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. I'm taking apart the 2016 Toyota Sienna. So far you got two 10s. You got one right here and you got one out on the side over here in the kick pan. You gotta take this side off. So let me see if I can take the rest of this off. Let's see how it comes off. Let's see, I got a screw down here. I'm holding this off. It's probably the latch. Nothing there. I believe, yep, it just pops right out. There we go. That comes out nicely. That comes out just like that. Good. Unplug that. And see if we could just leave all this plugged in. Oh, maybe we might have to disconnect. Might have to undo this. There we go. Alright, let's not try and take apart too much. Let's try and leave that right there. Alright. So that's that. So we're going to be going. Alright, so let's go ahead and take this down too. Go. That's fucking tight. That one's tight. Jeez, man, these things are tight on there. Let's see, keep your screws separated. Wow, those are tight. Those are tight. Alright. Is that a good angle? Yeah. Alright, so these will come out. There comes that. This comes out. Beautiful. This will come down now. Alright, we'll let that hang right there. Beautiful. Alright, so this is what we got here. Let's see. We gotta make connections. Where are we gonna start? Let me just put this on here. After I put my ground, I always put my power, and I just always do that because of I want the Evo to set any internal relays, so that when I make any other connections, I don't have anything freaking out and possibly causing anything to go bad. That's nice and tight. Good. All right, where do we want to put this? Oh, no better spot right here. All right, get that started. And I'm gonna go ahead and ground this. Come on. Holy cow. Alright, that took a while. It's harder than I expected. Alright, so I got everything split here. Nice and organized. We're going to come over here and make the ECU connections first. Go ahead and strip these wires back. If you guys don't have this tool and you plan on doing this, I recommend it. This is so easy. Let's see if I get this in the frame. Literally just clamp down, self-adjusting. This is the best $20-$30 I've ever. You can even do two at a time. Watch. Well, maybe not that time. Two at a time. Best $20-$30 I've ever spent. Makes your life so much easier, especially when you have to just make a little incision in the wire in order to intercept the connection like we're gonna have to do here. Alright, so like I said, I want to catch 12 volts first. So let's see where our 12 volts is gonna be. Well, 12 volts is gonna be at the steering column. Honestly. Alright, let me take this cover off. I don't really want to take it off, but I got to. Kinda have to. Let me see. So, 2 screws when you rotate the steering wheel to take the steering wheel cover off. One on each side. Alright. Take these off. Beautiful. Alright, so this should pop down. I don't think there's any other screws on it. Set that off. There we go. Perfect. That comes off nicely like that. Can we get a door pin on this? Perfect. Okay. If you guys ever want to do that, oh, all right. Here's the connector. Let me see if I could show you guys. So I just took off the steering wheel cover, and the connector is right here. You see the red on the left? That's going to be at 12 volts. All right. So here's the connector. We don't even have to disconnect it because we can just easily take the wires right from here. So I'm just gonna undo this tape. Easy enough. Undo this tape. Peel this back. Beautiful. Here we got our red wire. Gonna be our power. So let me just get that done. Always use the 3M Super 33 tape. Hopefully you can see that. So here's our red wire, gonna be our 12 volts. Always be extremely careful when making this connection, not to touch anything. Make sure let me tighten this thing. Always have extreme precaution, because you can easily blow a fuse, and when you're doing this, you don't really want to do that. You want to come out nice and clean, not having to replace anything. Not to waste your time trying to change fuses and whatnot. So I'll just wrap it around. Nice piece of tape, and like that. Make sure this one is nice and well taped. Hopefully my head's not in the way of the shot. Let's see, what do we got next? Next we have what will be, we're going to do the ignition. Ignition's going to be right next to it. So we got, ignition's going to be the black wire. Yep, we got the black wire right next to it. Is the only black wire coming out of here. This is going to be the ignition. Just come over here. Strip that back. Like you guys can see, that is a perfect strip back. I'm telling you, this thing just makes stripping wires easy. Don't even have to think about it. Alright, wrap that up. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can see that. Make this connection. Beautiful. And now the next connection is the steering lock. It's going to be the green wire, a pin over from Yep, it's gonna be the only green wire here. So coming off this harness, here we go. Like that. Boom. White with the blue. Yep, white with the blue wire off the 4N goes to the green wire off of the steering column. Tape this up. Alright. Things are all nice. Now we're gonna cover this back up. If I can. Alright. There you go, so that's not going anywhere. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take on the connections at the BCM, I believe. It's gonna be the second plug from the top next to the black connectors. You can go ahead and unplug it, nothing's gonna happen. Alright, so it's gonna be a little tight. The airbag might be in the way for me. Alright. So we got the connector here, and we got a bunch of connections to make here. We're going to start from left to right. So bottom left corner of the connector, looking at it from the back, it's going to be the parking lights, which is going to be our brown white. Take our brown white. Already stripped all these back. Take our brown white, and take this bottom left connector, which should be a yellow wire. Yep. Yellow wire. We're a little tight here, so just be careful. Remember, try not to ever touch anything while you're making these connections. I don't want to ground anything out or short anything out, because it's just going to be a waste of time. I said brown right, correct. We're going to make this connection over the airbag. Also, another thing to consider when you're making connections is realize where your wires are routing through, because when it comes to organizing everything at the end, you might kind of be shooting yourself in the foot and making yourself more work because you routed it the wrong way, and you can't really make it look nice, and you gotta take stuff apart, or the wires don't reach because you routed it some certain way. So just be conscious of that. Alright, there's the first connection. Now we're going to go from left to right at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and do pin number 28, which is the auto light shutdown, which is going to be a purple wire. Yep, purple wire right here. This is going to be an interrupt, so we're going to have to cut this. So now, some wisdom here, some help. When you're making an interrupt, let me see how I do this. I mean, I know from experience pretty much how much to give myself. So it all really depends on the situation, but never cut it too close to the connector. Because if anything ever happens, you know, and you're too close to the connector and you can't really, if you don't really have any wire to play with, you know, you might be shooting yourself in the foot again. Alright, so now this wire is kind of uncomfortable. Let me see if I get this one coming up. Alright, so got them both stripped. Auto light shutdown, these are going to be our D1, D3 wires. It's going to be yellow, red, yellow, green. Connector side is going to be yellow, red. Yellow, red going to the connector side. Perfect. So see, yellow red I have right here. We'll be going to the connector side. Now always keep an eye, remember that wire is just hanging. I got that wire hanging. There's no grounds really dangerously close to it, but remember, you never want to ground anything out, because you could actually ruin the vehicle. You could mess something up in the BCM. And I'll tell you a story of what happened to me one time. Alright, so I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and I didn't go to school for this or anything. So the way I learned was kind of just trial and error, and of course you can imagine, I tried a lot and I fucked up a lot. But I always try to be careful, and I always... Wait, before I even continue, let me make sure. We're going to do... Vehicle side is going to be yellow-green, yes. Alright, so I always try to not fuck up. Like, I always went into situations when I was first starting off, trying to go in and know the entire freaking vehicle, know everything I had to know. I didn't really just kind of like wing it. I had some idea of what basic electrical systems were, but remote starts to me were still like unknown. So I'll go right to the story. I was doing an 06, an 05 Nissan Altima for a friend, and I was making, I believe, I forget what connection it was. I think I was trying to make the door lock connections, I think. And I think there were no wires coming out of the BCM for the door locks. You'll see that on Nissans a lot. Well, where you're gonna have to make door lock connections, and the connector on the pins, like the locations on the connector, will not have like wires coming out of them. They'll just be empty. So you'll kind of be like thrown off. When it first happened to me, I was kind of thrown off. I was like very curious why the hell that was so. Let's see, we're gonna go ahead and make pin 16 is the TX, which is our light blue, at right above the purple. What color is that? Our TX connection is gonna be blue. Yep, here's the blue wire. So yeah, so I had to do I'm pretty sure it was door locks. And I somehow shorted something out, I believe. Or I don't know what happened. But light blue, right? I don't want to mess this up. I'll try and tell you guys a story. TX connection, light blue going to pin 16, which is the blue wire. Light blue to blue. Yes. So I shorted it out, and I screwed up the BCM. So, because I was so curious, I was like, well, if something shorted out, I don't know if this is right or wrong until this day, but if you short something out, it kind of just burns out. So, it's for my friend. It was late at night. We were actually at work in the parking lot, and what I did was I took out the BCM, which was easy enough to take out, and I opened it up. I took off the tabs on the side, I untabbed it, and I found where that copper line in the circuit board, where it had burnt up. So I told myself, well, if this is where the connection basically was interrupted because this thing burnt out, if I just connect them back together, if I solder it, if I have like a solder joint from one side to the other and complete the connection, this thing should work again. And luckily it did. So so then I was able to put it back in, and I figured out what the door locks were and whatnot. So yeah, I think that was my biggest screw up, but at the end of the day, like, it didn't cost me any money, thank God. But yeah, always be careful, because that could have gone down the drain for me, and I would have probably had to pay for a light blue, black, RX, RX connections, light blue black, right above the TX, which is the black wire. So yeah, that was my screw up. 05 Nissan Altima. I screwed it up. I blew up the BCM. But I fucking brought it back to life, thank God, and I didn't have to pay for another BCM, which probably would have been, you know, the price, you know, it probably would have been the amount of money I was making, including parts off that remote start. So, yeah, good experience. But, you know, you live and you learn. For me, that's kind of like, it is what it is. I look at it and I'm like, all right, I just learned. So that's good. But yeah, I don't mind sharing stories like that about my fuck ups, because you know, some people just kind of like put up their successes and not their fuck ups, and they want to make themselves look like you know, like the best in the world, and they've never fucked up and stuff like that. It's like they're perfect, and that, you know, it's kind of like, it's whatever. You know, if you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to fake people and say you've never fucked up in your life, it's kind of hard to believe, because I truly believe in, you know, trial and error. You're gonna fuck up, you're gonna learn from it, and you're gonna become better. All right, so that was TX connection. That's enough of my story. Let me get on to this remote start. 13. Okay, so middle connectors. We're gonna go 14 here, which is CAN high, which is gonna be the gray. It's also gray in the car. So gray to CAN high, gray to gray. Up, gray to gray. First one off this lot. Is it gonna be? No. All right. There's two grays next to each other. CAN low. The gray next to the white, because the white is a CAN low. They're right next to each other. It's gonna be these two wires right here. You probably can't see them very well, but pull out these two wires. Turn my light off. Alright, so CAN high is the gray wire next to the white, which is the same color as the CAN high on the Fortin, so we're gonna go gray to gray. Alright. Go gray to gray. That's the CAN high connection. Flip it up. Good. Alright, now we're going to take the white wire, which is right next to it. Double check. Always double check you're taking the right wire. This is going to be your CAN low. It's going to be the gray black on the Fortin. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Let me strip this. Yep, gray black is the CAN low here for us. Alright, back to the video. I had a phone call. Sorry. Hopefully I get the same angle somehow. I think that's right about. Hopefully that's good there. Alright, so the CAN low connection. Wow, that's a lot of tape. Fuck it. No, actually, take some off. Okay, good. Alright, so this is the CAN low. Because the CAN low connections, all those connections are done. I'm pretty confident they're all right, so I'm gonna tape these all together in one nice bundle so they never, ever, ever come apart. And we're gonna go ahead and put these to the side, plug this back in. Alright. Now we got one more connection to make. It's gonna be the push to start switch. So let's see if we can. The tab is facing the steering wheel, so push it back and take it out. Perfect. Alright, so the connector's like this in there, so I just gotta push on this tab and pull out. To be the top left pin 7 is gonna be a light blue going to our white black. Light blue connection, yep, going to our white black. Light blue to our white black. Right here. There's that. Make sure, top left. Split that. And we're gonna take our last wire right here, wherever the hell it is, into our white black. Right here, strip this out. Beautiful. Tie that around. Some tape. Tape it up. Yep. Alright, it's in there. Yeah, I got it all in there. It's good enough. And plug this back into the switch. Beautiful. Alright, so now let's go ahead and go on to programming. This is still rolling, right? Alright, so hope you guys can see this. If I can get a little better. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna get on to programming here, and I believe programming on this is fairly easy. So we're gonna disconnect everything. Always disconnect the power last on this thing. That's just what they say, and I don't question it, I just do. Always disconnect the power last. So how does this go? Okay, so we're gonna go here, same thing, hold it, go to blue. First one's always blue, so I'm gonna make all these connections, plug that in, plug this in, plug this in. You're gonna hit the button one time. Here we still got blue. That's one time, 2 times, light goes out. And we're gonna have to wait. There we go. Okay, once it starts flashing, you're gonna turn it off, and you're done. That's it. It is programmed. All right. So let me try this one more time. Make sure everything works. Perfect. All right, so that's a success. Everything worked good over there, you know. So that's about it for this. I'm gonna put everything back together. Just do everything what I did backwards before, and I'll try and do these. I'm thinking about doing videos like this, more like me actually doing it and putting them up for on YouTube. So hopefully, you know, I'm doing a few a week, so I'm gonna see if I can do this. All right. See you guys later.